Good morning, my loves. I am up very early because I couldn't sleep. So I figured I would record your lesson and get it on the computer for you bright and early. Today you're supposed to complete Act 4, Scene 1. Hopefully my house will stay quiet for the next couple minutes while I do this. That's kind of the goal. Don't forget to do your free writes and journals. One of the questions I had was, am I grading the journals and free writes now? And I'm going to be doing them maybe on a weekly basis. When I see that they're done, I'm going to put the grade in. So you can work ahead, you can work back. The things that I'm grading right away, though, are the questions that you're doing for Romeo and Juliet and any other outside activities that we have. Okay? All right, so Act 4, Scene 1. When we last left off, Juliet was throwing her tantrum, and they had their wedding night, and now she's being forced to marry Paris, and she's prepared to go and die, so she's going to go talk to Friar Lawrence for some counsel. Okay, Act 4. So when we start off the scene, Paris is already, and remember this is Tuesday, and play began on Sunday. This is Tuesday morning. And Paris is already there talking to Friar Lawrence saying, hey, I want to marry this girl. And Friar Lawrence, remember, he's privy to everything. And he says, on Thursday? Wow, that's like really soon. And so he says, my father Capulet will have it so. And I'm not going to slow him down on this. And Friar Lawrence says, you don't know what Juliet's thinking. And he says, uneven is the course. I like it not. I don't know if I should marry you guys. I don't know what's going on here. And so I'm going to just zoom in a little bit to make it a little easier. Let's see if that works. There we go. He says, well, she keeps weeping and crying for Tybalt. And we haven't really talked about love. Okay. But, we want to get her married, and he doesn't want her to be too upset. So his wisdom hates our marriage to stop her tears. That's a good reason to get married, so that you stop crying, right? And so now you know the reason why we want to get married so fast. It says married to stop tears. So he's like, well, I knew, not why it should be slow. So he's saying, I wish I knew why we shouldn't slow this thing down. But look, here comes your lady towards myself. And so she says, happily met, my lady, my wife. And she says, that may be when I may be a wife. Maybe must be love on Thursday next. And then she says, what must be shall be. Like, whatever's supposed to happen is supposed to happen. And Friar says that is quite certain. Okay. And this also goes back to fate and destiny. Whatever is supposed to happen is supposed to happen. So he says, are you here to make confession? So she says that to answer that, I should confess to you. And he says, don't deny to him that you love me. So she says, I will confess to you that I love him. Now remember, we're using those pronouns again that are vague. And she really means Romeo. And so he says, so will you. I am sure that you love me. And she says, if I do so, it will be more of a price being spoke back to your back than to your face. I'm not going to tell you to your face. And he says then, oh, your face is much abused with tears because she's been crying. And then she says, the tears have got small victory by that, for it was bad enough before their spite. And he says, well, you wronged it more with tears. And then she says, basically this, but he says that your face is mine and you have slandered it because she owns it. He's going to own her. And he's saying, I'm marrying you because you're beautiful and you've ruined your face right now with these tears. And so she goes, well, that must be because the face does not belong to me. So again, it's about the time period. Okay. And so she says, can I speak with you? And so, he says, they say their goodbyes, and he says, on Juliet, I will rouse you. Now that's the tradition of the time period. The groom, or what they'll call the bridegroom, would come into the bride's chambers and wake her up, and then they would go off and get married. And he says, keep this holy kiss. And then she says, shut the door. When he leaves, shut the door and come cry with me, past hope, past care, past help. And he says, I know your grief already. On Thursday you're supposed to be married to this guy. And so she says, tell me now, friar, thou hearest of this. Tell me how I may prevent it. So she's looking for advice. And she goes, and if you can't give me help, but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. And she shows him her knife. Like, seriously, they really are meant for each other. Romeo's going to kill himself a little bit before. Juliet's now like, you better tell me how to solve this, or I'm going to kill myself. They are made for each other. Okay. I'm not sick. It's just my allergies in the morning. Okay. Good. Join my heart and our hands. Okay. So she says, give me some counsel, or behold, entwixt my extremities, and this bloody knife shall play the umpire. Okay. So an umpire would solve a problem. They're going to mediate. And so this knife will be the one that fixes things. Okay. He's going to arbitrate which commission of the years. Okay. I long to die. Speakest not of remedy. I'm ready to kill myself if you do not help me. So now he's kind of in a difficult position, because here she is ready to kill herself. He's been the one that's kind of advised Romeo and also married them in secret. And so he says, okay, hold on. I do have some hope. Okay. But you need to definitely be desperate enough to do this. Okay. And he says, if you have the strength to kill yourself, then you can probably undertake this. Okay, I'll give you remedy. And so she says, and this is the funny part, I'd rather than marry Paris, leap from the battlements of a tower, or walk in thievish waves, or lurk where serpents are, or chain me with roaring bears, hide me nightly in a charnel house, with dead man's rattling bones, okay, or skulls, yellow skulls, or put me in a new grave and hide me with a dead man in the shroud. Things to him told me that have made me tremble, and I will do without fear or doubt to live unstained wife to my sweet love. Now, we talked about that yesterday, remember? The whole thing is that she can't go and, what the word is, consummate her marriage with Paris, because she's already married to Romeo, and she's already basically done all those wifely duties, and it would be adultery. Now, these are all horrible things she'd do rather than marry Paris. Okay. So, she says, go home, be merry, so be happy, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday's tomorrow. Okay, make sure that this is the plan. So we're going to write this down, the plan. Okay, so you're going to go home, you're going to give consent to marry Paris. That's the first thing. Okay, tomorrow night, make sure that you lie alone. That's the second plan. Do not let the nurse lie with you in your chamber. Okay. Take this vial. So here's a vial. And when you're in bed, drink this potion. And presently through all thy veins shall run a cold, drowsy humor, for no pulse shall keep his native progress, but surcease. No warmth, no breath shall testify thou liveth, so you'll appear dead. So go home and say you're going to marry Paris. Go lie in your chamber by yourself. Take this potion and drink it, and you're going to appear dead. Okay? Simple so far, right? Yeah, it's going to get more complex. The rose in thy cheeks, thy lips and cheeks shall fade to pale ashes. Thy windows fall like death. There's your simile, like death. When he shuts up the day of life, and you've got some personification. Okay. And each part, deprived of supple government, shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death. So you're going to look dead. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, you shall continue for 42 hours. So how many hours is she going to be asleep for? 2 and 40. It's 42 hours. Okay. And then you're going to awake from a pleasant sleep. Okay. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, and thou art dead, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes, uncovered on the bier, you shall be borne to the same ancient vault of the kindred of Capulets lie. So they are going to bury you in a tomb. Okay? You're not really buried underground, but you're laid in the tomb. Okay? In the meantime, against thou shalt wake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift. So he's going to write Romeo some letters. Okay? And hither he shall come, and he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night, so they're going to watch the waking, right? And that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua. Okay, so then they're going to go to Mantua. And this shall free thee from the present shame, and no inconstant toil nor womanish fear abate thy valor in acting it. So don't be a chicken, don't be a girl. Some anti-feminism there going on. Drink the potion and be strong. Now, here's the deal. This is a very, very complex plan. It's 7 steps here. Drink the potion, go home, say you're going to get married, drink the potion, or go to sleep without your nurse in there. Drink the poison. Okay, you're going to be laid in the tomb. I'm going to write Romeo some letters. Romeo is going to come back. We're going to meet up. We're going to then go and sit at your tomb and wait for you to wake up. And then you're going to wake up, and then you're going to go live with him in Mantua. Now, these people don't follow directions. This is not going to work. There's going to be something that they do because, again, they're impulsive, okay? They don't stop to think about things. So keep in mind that this plan may not work. Now, the other thing that I want to say is the question that I always get is, well, why couldn't she have just run away with him to begin with? Well, keep in mind, she's her father's property, and now the only way to escape being your father's property are 2 ways, marriage and death. So if they assume that she's dead, then she's free to go off with Romeo. Okay, so she couldn't do that before without losing everything, so to say, but right now she's going to lose everything anyway. Okay. Give me, tell me I'm out of this fear. And he gives her the vial. Hold, get gone, be strong and prosperous. In this resolve, I'll send Friar with speed. So I'm going to send Friar with speed to Mantua with letters. So he's going to send somebody else. He's going to send Friar John. Love, give me strength, and strength to help me afford. Farewell, dear father. And so they leave in different directions. So again, this ends on a very positive note. What goes up must come down in a tragedy. And that's the end of Act 4, Scene 1. Okay, I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Please don't be stressed. I hope the first week of e-learning wasn't too stressful. I miss you guys, and keep me posted. And I'm enjoying reading your journals. They've been very good so far. And I didn't give you a question. I'll post it on Edsby so that you can read it rather than see a question in here. Or you know what, maybe I'll ask you, how many steps is Juliet's plan? Friar and Juliet's plan. How about that? We'll do that. Okay, guys, peace out. Love you bunches. Have a great weekend. Message me on Edsby if you need anything, or the Google number. And I'll be online at 11 if you need that. I'll repost the Zoom link. Thanks, y'all.